I'm here at the Vegas show. This is day 2. My eyes are drooping. We've been talking to a lot of people. I am so excited. So here we are. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Ted. I'm so excited to be here. And so I think I would love to start by showing you a little bit about products and what we offer, and specifically how we can make life easy for a custom home builder and a designer that wants to build a dream home and only work with one company and use all of our services.
So I love that. Before we go to that,
Yeah.
tell me the history. You told me a great story about Paco, how he failed, and then look at the, people need to understand failure is the exciting part of life.
Absolutely.
So give me the story.
You know how they say, if you don't fall, you'll never know to get up, and you
Yeah.
don't know that meaning. Paco Cosentino, who is our president and owner of our company, besides being the most humble, amazing man I've ever met and an inspiration to all of us, he went bankrupt 3 times because he wanted to bring a product to the world that was able to be used and not have the deficits that you get with natural stone. And we have natural stone, but people wanted and were looking for something that was like easy maintenance, let's say. And so he went bankrupt because he tried one thing, another thing, he fell, and he lives in a small village outside of Spain, in Spain, in the southeast. And then he came back up, and all of a sudden, with a business partner in the US, started Silestone was born. And when Silestone was born, I mean, the company started with a few employees knocking doors and asking people to want to use this quartz product that no one knew about. And we got rejected by everybody because people didn't want anything new. They wanted to stay with just granite.
What year is this?
This was 25 years ago. And then all of a sudden, we got a huge account. And that's what happened. The account said, yes, we want it. So guess what? The fabricators said, all right, we're in. And we started creating small opportunities around the US. It was amazing, the growth, just within 5 years. And then after that, we started to realize that one of the things we really needed to do was control our own distribution. So then Cosentino became a brand, started to grow. So we started with a few employees, and now we're about 5,000 employees around the world.
That's insane.
Yes, it's incredible. And he, every morning, he wakes up, he goes to the office, and he says hello to everyone that's at the factory. And the people that work at the factory laugh about the fact that he will call them every single day. He knows exactly what's being sold and how many slabs we are manufacturing every single day. He'll know when I place an order in the United States, and literally will email you and be like, wow, thank you for that order, that's great. Or of course he'll email and be like, where the hell is the order?
Seriously?
Yeah, amazing.
With 5,000 people, he's that on it?
Oh, I mean, unbelievable. He is a powerhouse, and he reads every report, he reads every email, and we all always joke, be careful, if you're about to land something good, be careful to tell Paco, because he will hunt you down until you get that PO. But that's what makes him so great, because he's also like all about family, and he just has a heart of gold. And one more thing that I want to say that is the most amazing for me is that I've never had a problem with a customer that we didn't fix, because that's our goal and our priority. So it's always, always going to be about our customers.
Okay, so we can talk about your product, but you've taken me to a spot. I gotta ask this question. With growth of that magnitude in 25 years, that's explosive. How do you embrace failure? Because you've got to have failure in order to get to where you are now.
Absolutely. I think that's an important question. And now, you know, the way we've embraced failure is we have gone through inflation. We've gone through dips in the economy where we were wondering, what are we going to do now? So our core values started with really just the people. We have people that have worked for 25 years and, you know, and even longer because of the natural stone world. I mean, Paco started in the quarries with his dad, in the quarries around our company, right? He knows the employees, many of them, he went to school with them. And now his children, who are part of the company, and Eduardo, who is my boss, our CEO.
Is he the one who lives in Miami?
Yes,
Okay,
and so Eduardo is our CEO, and he always tells us, go for it, and if you make a mistake, it's okay. But don't be afraid to take that leap. Don't be afraid to to just make a decision. And I think so many companies are so worried about making decisions that perhaps become a failure, that you fail at it, and what happens is if you didn't make that decision, you wouldn't be where you are. But we constantly learn from our mistakes, but it's because we have their backs, because they know that even if we fail, they're going to help us come right back up. And trust me, we've made many mistakes, and we've had to redo and air freight material to a job site because something came wrong, but we will, as long as we get it in the hands and it ends up, our customer ends up being happy. So plenty of failures, but unbelievable rewards.
I have a client in Canada, and he's a cabinet manufacturer. And when he was first starting out, he got a job to do the framing of a development in Washington State. And he had all the trusses, all the wood, everything, and it was delivered to the job site, and it was 2 inches out. Well, when your frame is 2 inches out and it's 2 inches short, it doesn't work. And he scrambled, and he goes to figures it out. And 2 days later, by a miracle, gets him the proper stuff, eats the mistake. And the builder said, I will always use you because you didn't put the onus on me. You took it yourself.
And I can tell you, so I run the commercial division for Cosentino. I run the designer division for Cosentino and Architects and work with them. And I could spend hours giving you examples of times where we have had an issue, and at the end, we're like, it doesn't matter. We're going to make it work. We're going to find source of material or do what it takes. We'll bring people to the site, make sure that we rectify this situation, especially during these last few years. As you know, logistics and everyone was waiting for material. And one thing that Paco and Eduardo taught us during this time was some of these projects that we lost, perhaps due to price, perhaps due to some of the stone overseas that is coming in from some of the areas that is coming really, really cheap. They couldn't source their material when it came down to the project. And guess what? We lost it. But then those same builders or developers would call us and be like, okay, do you think you have the material? Can you help me? We're like, sure, we sure can. And we helped them, and in some cases we matched the price that they were in because they were in a bind. But we knew that it was one time, and then we keep a customer for life. So that's kind of the way we work.
I always believe you don't want a client for once, you want it for a lifetime.
One time. It's like a restaurant. You go once, you have a bad experience.
Yeah.
Who cares that you spend $1,000 for your meal? You're never going to go back.
So how has, you talked about family and the importance of family with Cosentino. How is having, I gotta believe he's a mentor.
Absolutely.
How does that affect who you are with your family? And then people look at you because of this amazing work relationship, but it makes you a better person in your personal life.
You're going to make me cry.
But it's the most important thing.
It is the most important thing.
Family, everything stops with family because they're not there in the end to look after you. Family is.
It is the most important thing. Wow. Well,
Didn't expect that, sorry.
I know, I sure didn't. But I gotta say, I remember one time Paco and Eduardo offered me my new position, and I really was nervous. And it was a very difficult time for me. My husband actually was in the hospital at the time with a sickness we were unsure about. And they pulled me aside, they offered me the job. I cried, of course. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And he said two things. He said, you build yourself a good, solid team. Always hire people that are better than you because they will make you look better. And you remember to take care of your family first. And we're here for you. And they were. And they have been, and they helped me through every step. And so for me, with my family, I'm able to relate that to understanding that, yes, we travel, we work hard, but when we're together, it's like that, those moments that you may be at home every single day. For some people that don't travel, for example, who want quality versus quantity. When we're together, we embrace it in such a way because that's what I've learned also from them, that be in the moment. Just be in the moment and be honest. Be humble. And those are some of the key things that Paco has taught me. I mean, at the end, every person that meets, and I've had the pleasure of introducing him to thousands of designers from North America every year that I bring to Spain, and we have lunch with him, and he sits there, and you get that sense of the humility. There's never been a time where he doesn't say, what can I do? And so I teach that, you know, in my family, my husband and I believe in that. My family, with my parents and brothers, etc., we have lunch every single Sunday. That we've done since back in my great-grandmother days. So Sunday is sacred. We always have lunch together. When Eduardo Cosentino was 28 years old, moved to the United States, to Houston. That's where our headquarters were. When he moved to Houston at 28 as CEO, he came to the Sunday family because I realized he was alone. And it was just a natural thing. We just enjoyed. He would come with my family to have Sunday lunch because he is such a family guy. He needed that to kind of that moment to continue to like breathe and feel secure that it's not just all about work. And they've always appreciated that, but it was a mutual appreciation that we have for each other.
Okay, so I need to share a story with you. My grandfather, there's a cosmetic company called Yardley's Cosmetics, and my grandfather was a pharmacist in Winnipeg, moved to Toronto, got to know the Yardley family in England, and this is in the 1920s, and he brought, Yardley said, we want to go to North America. They said, you can either open it in Toronto or New York. He chose Toronto because he was Canadian. I was born in '62, and I remember going to the big house, my grandfather's house. He always played the piano, baby grand piano, and at Christmas time, because back in the 60s and 70s, people didn't fly back and forth from Europe that much. So he would say, hey, what are you doing for Christmas? We would have 25, 35 people at Christmas, business people from Europe that would stay because family is absolutely the cornerstone.
It's true, and it's amazing. Everybody knows my family. My dad unfortunately passed away, but they all know that, like, don't call me and ask me what we're doing on Sunday because you already know.
It's scheduled. Okay, now let's talk about this.
Yes.
Because you got some cool new stuff.
We do.
And I'm standing on Decton.
Decton.
I didn't know you could put it on floors. I thought it was just for countertops.
Exactly. So Decton, you know, we created Decton with this mindset of a very, very high-end tech company, by the way, who wanted us to do a project for them.
You can't tell us who it is.
I can't. But you can think about it. You probably have a phone that maybe they make.
We all know who
Maybe
it is.
Yeah. And this company said, hey, we need you to make this material for us for all of our stores. Well, guess what? We tried with Silestone, and we never got to what exactly they wanted. And Paco Cosentino is an innovator and an entrepreneur and said, we got to figure this out. Investment went with our R&D department, Valentin, who is the guy that runs the department, and they started thinking, what are we going to do? And they found this patent technology. And then Decton, which is an ultra compact surface, came to life. So one of the things about Decton that's different is the different thicknesses, the ability for us to create any custom color that you would want, and it also is a fantastic product for outdoors and for flooring and facades, interior, exterior, and of course any kind of surround. So we are standing on Decton, and on here you can see the fireplace, which is also Decton.
And it feels great.
And that's the thing, is that people love, you know, when you touch stone, the touch is so important. You want it to feel like stone. You don't want it to feel like some material that isn't, you know, stone. And so most people don't know the difference. But so Decton, and this, by the way, is our new Pietra code. It's our new Decton collection that we're launching right now for the first time. It was inspired by designer Daniel Germani and Cosentino. And so it withstands heat. It could be outside in the Minnesota cold, and it could be in Florida outside. So it withstands the heat, the cold. It doesn't matter where you put it, and it doesn't scratch, and it doesn't stain. So, for example, we just are doing a project right now where we're cladding the building all outdoors, so that when people do the graffiti, literally you just like fill with water, it comes off.
So if you're in an environment like the Northwest, which rains a lot, you start to get mold or moss on it.
No, it won't happen. That's why,
Really?
especially like mold, we talk about mold, I'll show you later, but like our shower surrounds
Yeah.
for bathroom. I mean, I have Decton in my showers because I live in Houston, Texas. Talk about mold, talk about humidity, and there is no mold. There's nothing that's going to affect this product when it comes to heat, when it comes to mold, when it comes to snow, rain, or shine. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so if this is because it's above a fireplace, so this won't get artificially hot?
No, it's just going to stay like this no matter what. And that's one of the beauties of the technology behind it.
Okay.
And we are the very first that ever came out with a product like this, which is
Okay.
ultra compact. On this end over here, you can see a collection, and I'll just show you quick. It's basically a collection of different products of our Decton, also with Tetra Code, which are the brand new colors. So this right here is our Sensa granite collection. So when I tell you Cosentino has different materials,
Yeah.
we have Silestone, which is quartz, Decton, which we just spoke about, which is
Yeah.
ultra compact surface, and then we have Sensa, which is a granite. And the only difference, and the reason it's called Sensa, we bring we have a huge facility in Brazil. We have our granite that comes from Brazil.
Oh,
When-
so it does not come from Spain?
just the granite.
Okay.
But when we cut the slabs, when we bring the granite blocks, as we are cutting it, before it's cut, it has a process that's called Sensa, that's a patent process. And all it basically means, and anyone cares to know,
Yeah.
is that you don't ever have to seal it.
You don't seal this?
No, because that's the Sensa patent. So, Sensa granite by Cosentino is a granite you don't ever
So
have
this
to seal.
won't stay. If you spill red wine, it will not stay. And obviously it's granite, so you can put a hot pot on it.
All
So
the
this is-
attributes of granite, you don't have to ever seal it.
Okay, so why would somebody, Patty, buy this instead of Dectron or the other way around?
So, great question. At the end of the day, granite, as you know, there's some exotic granites that people want,
Yes.
but the maintenance of it's one thing that you don't have to seal it, but the maintenance for Silestone and for Decton is still better in the fact that it doesn't scratch. I mean, Sensa is still a granite, it's still a natural stone. So just because the staining may be better, it will scratch, it will over time look like it's been used more because it's natural stone. You can't
Okay.
help that. But also because of the different color palettes, and people just like that easiness that has versus granite. So Decton,
Yep.
Sensa are some of the other Tetra Code colors that we have, and they're basically they're all inspired more for like floors and walls, sort of that terrazzo look.
Okay.
And again, people want things today that they want to be able to have something that they just can't get off of natural stone because of how you have to maintain it, and that's one of the main things. So we have a very extensive booth here, and then right here we have Silestone, and like I said before, you can see the inspiration between, a lot of people ask us, so you have Decton that has sort of this look, then you have Silestone that has sort of this look. What's the difference?
This is super smooth.
Super smooth. So this is our, this is the polished Silestone. And what it is basically the difference between this and Decton is that with Silestone, you get all of the beauty of it, you get the attributes, but one thing you're gonna love, I know, is that in quartz, one thing that we really have, again back to innovation, we really have focused on is how do we help our fabricators be safer when it comes to cutting stone,
Okay.
because of the things we know that happen when the fabricator cuts, you have to wear your mask, but also because of things that come out when you're cutting the stone. Hybrid is a new technology, which now is just the first product to come out, which basically is safe for our fabricators. We still encourage them to wear masks, but all of the emissions that come out when they're cutting, no longer.
How does that happen?
It's a secret.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay,
It's
Colonel
actually
Sanders.
super important for us because it's the way that Silestone is made with all of the components of what all of our natural resources that we use to make Silestone. And it's something that now we have made a commitment in all of our Silestone material. We started with some, but all of our materials now have hybrid. So hybrid is also because the raw materials that we use to make it are all focused on sustainable instead of just the raw materials we used to be able to get. But we didn't sacrifice the look. We just made it just as beautiful, but with a new technology to make it safer. It's very nice. So over here, I've got to show you because this is right now a finalist in KBIS as the Best of Show. And this is our brand new Decton America collection by Nina Megas. We are hoping that we're going to win, but these colors over here, Onirica, are inspired, as you can see, by natural stone, marble look, and we bought new technology at Cosentino in order to give us the ability to make those thick veins, and if you touch and feel, it's so natural. No one would ever realize that it's not marble.
Is this where you do it on a printer and then you kind of lay it down?
The printer is Decton.
Yeah, okay.
And it is.
Okay.
We print it. It's all about the oven.
Okay.
And the printing. The printing and the oven is what makes this unbelievable.
It is amazing the technology that has allowed new things to be developed over the last decade. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
And a lot of other people's favorite. Look at how crowded it is.
So Decton Fractal.
Okay.
Brand new, first time anybody has ever seen it. And this is an inspiration by Claudia Afshar, an amazing designer from LA and London. And we've been working and partnering with her over the years. And she came up with this idea and said, I want to do a collaboration with Cosentino. I want to do something different. So if you take a look over here, this shower, I want to just take it to my house today, because it's so fabulous. But it's basically Decton. So everything in this room is all Decton. And it's Decton and it's been fluted so that it gives it this effect. So it's our Decton colors, and all it is the process and the new technology in order for us to make it fluted and installed. And the key thing here is Decton comes in 4 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 1.2, and 2 cm. Why am I telling you this?
Why is that?
What do you want in your shower walls? You don't need a 2 cm material. First of all, it's so much harder to install. Second, it's pricier. So if you get an 8 millimeter or 4 millimeter, and we have a product that's called Optima, which is a smaller size optimized to fit your shower walls in 8 millimeter and in 4 millimeter. Right now, Optima is in 4, but we're bringing it a new program with 8 as well. It's going to change the builder industry for high-end custom home builder. Why on earth would you want to continue to put small tiles when you can do one slab?
Yeah, and
3 slabs in one shower.
And so what does that do for grouting and for mold, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to install. You don't have to worry about the mold. The grouts are like perfect. And the installation of it is so quick and so much easier. And so you can do it faster. You're only buying 3 slabs. And the handling, and just literally handle it and you can trap it into the wall, no big deal.
And it's beautiful.
So this thing right here is same thing, Decton fluted, and then of course the Decton vanity. All of this is made out of Decton.
It is?
So we also, because we have a bathroom collection that we're launching, and so we also have Decton vanity, Silestone vanities, and you can buy all of that in our Decton.
Everybody loves the new shiny thing.
Everybody loves it, yes. And of course, we're on the floor. Claudia's right there, that's the designer. Nina, the one from Onirica, is over there, and you'll get to meet her too.
So this is awesome. And I love the story about Cosentino. More importantly, I love what he has brought to your family and also to the world. And the core foundations of the importance of people. Because in a world of fast things and new technology, at the end of the day, we all sit down and have dinner.
That's it. And I have to say, one thing that I would really fail at this interview if I didn't mention it. Right now, everyone talks about, core values, one of our biggest core values has always been sustainability. It's hard to talk about it because for us, sustainability and the village that we live in, the solar panels and the water that we need to survive has always been there. We are not sustainable because it's now something that we are being forced to do. We are sustainable because Paco Cosentino has been sustainable and believed in that his whole life. So we've always run our business that way.
Yes.
But now we put more resources with carbon neutral for Decton, with the way we reuse our water. All of the water has to be reused in our factory, in the village, and then the solar panels, and then how we reforest our quarries and have solar panels that maintain it. So electricity, it's beautiful to see, but it's not a story. It's just real. Some people do it as a story. We just have it's always been part of our core.
So I talk a lot about this. I'm a big fan of if you do something with passion, it's not about the money. The money is a byproduct of doing a good job and looking after people. Paco obviously has passion for what he's doing, and failure, while it's temporary or inconvenient, it's just temporary. I love the line of Nike, whereas there is no finish line. People always go, and one thing we're doing our series with all these incredible people around the country that really are dealing with incredible business leaders, is everybody goes, well, you're so successful. There is no such thing as success. It's a journey of life. You know, I asked you the question, and your answer was one of the best I've ever heard, talking about your family. I'm a big advocate of always connecting with the kids. Like, I've got a dear friend who's done incredibly well, and he lives in Fredericksburg, not far from you. And I go in, and I have dinner with he and his wife. My wife and I have dinner, and I'm checking the baseball scores or football scores or something. And he goes, hey, Ted. He goes, we're going to leave. We'd love to have dinner with you and your wife, but if the phone's more important than us having dinner, then just call us when it is. And then his wife sent me a video about the phone and how we're all addicted, but we're looking at stuff that's nonsense. So I turned the phone off, stuck it in my pocket. Now when I see them and when I see others, you won't see my phone very often.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
And you know, when you said that about Nike and the finish line,
yeah.
The other day we were with the board of NKBA and ASID and some designers with Paco, and someone asked him, Paco, how does it feel to have the success that you have today? And he was like, I'm not finished. And he said, we are far from being finished. And then he said, by the way, do you know how great Decton looks in furniture applications? Because Patty's been working with designers and we're now doing tables. And I'm like, yes, we are, because it's every day it's something new.
There's only 8 people, give or take.
A million square feet.
I said, yeah, a million square feet. And there's only 8 people that run it, and it's all robots and cranes. And people are up top, looking down, making sure everything is properly loaded. The automation, is that true?
Yeah, so in the factory, now we have 13 Silestone manufacturing lines. We used to have 11. We are the company that has the most manufacturing lines in the world. Silestones run a little bit different, so we have a little bit more people running the Silestone facilities because of the nature of our, the way that it's manufactured. Decton, from the beginning, Paco was very, very, very focused on technology and robotics. And so when we opened the first Decton facility, now we have 3. But the first one that we opened, we have people up top, and we have you walk in, it's super clean. All of them are super clean, including Silestone. But it's all automated, and you see the robots that go around, you're like, and they recognize that you're there, and they're like, kind of like, not like the airport people that like run you over.
Run you over. Yeah. Take out your Achilles.
Yeah. They're like the little robot that says Decton, and there they go. But the facility is it's just one to see. People from all over the world, actually, the King of Spain came to inaugurate it, and he was like, this is incredible because it has the components of there's people, because we need the people that are running it up here and making sure everything is correct. One cool thing about that I will say is quality control. quality control is robotics, but it always has the I at the end. And guess who we employ the most in quality control?
Taco.
Nope.
Oh.
Women. Guess why? Because we see things that you guys just don't.
Oh, I know.
we see everything.
I know.
And so most of the people at the end of the line are women. And people always ask me, there are men everywhere. And then there's these women, and they are the ones that are looking at the end slab and putting up, this one has a spot, this one has a spot. It's quality control. It's amazing.
No, it's not. It's normal. Like my wife always says, Ted, you've got the vision. You know where we're going. But if you get me to do any of the details, I don't know. And we're building another house in Scottsdale right now. And our
Call me
builder-
if you need countertops.
Well, I gotta give you my
Or
card. And have you ever seen our magazine?
So Scottsdale, but they are in all
Yeah, so
different
we're in
regions.
Palm Beach, Hawaii, Park City, Jacksonville, Vancouver.
So I gotta tell you, Ted, I was looking through the magazine, and it's rare to find. It's so beautiful. The content that you have here, even that feel, and I'm obsessed about like good quality magazines because it's not, it's. You can tell by the paper, by the cover, by everything, but the content is unbelievable. And I was looking at it, this one's from Scottsdale, but I've seen like West Palm Beach and even in Vancouver. And I just want to tell you, I congratulate you because I love it. It's fabulous.
Thank you.